Hello, greetings, fellow stationeers, and welcome to day 149 of the brutal start on Europa with me, 54 Bear. Okay, I have a bit of a monstrosity that is only half built. This is my ore distribution area, let's say. Rather than have vending machines where you have to run across to each one and select or get into complex programming, I thought it'd be kind of handy just to use the new chutes, which is what I'm doing. At the moment, there's just a bunch of inputs connected to them, some of them not very many. This is the one for iron, which will end up being the most populous one, and it happens to be the shortest. But I wanted to have iron closer to where I'm actually working. Although, to be honest, it doesn't really make any difference. I mean, over here you can, well, yeah, so I probably wouldn't be able to grab the end one standing here, but yeah, so there's one missing, and I can't remember what it is. Iron, copper, gold, silicon, lead. Yeah, I do have some lead, but I don't think I need it just now. And I'm not certain that I have it off-gassed. It's up here. I can't remember if I off-gassed it or not. But I do have some lead ingots should the need arise. Okay, as far as the four tanks go, I mean, the hot one, to be honest, you want it as hot as you can get it. There is no upper maximum to it. Lower would be, I think, 1900 Kelvin, I think, or 2000 Kelvin, something of that nature. But yeah, we're well above that, so we should be good. Tank 3 should be 1075 Celsius. Tank 2 will be 700. And tank 1, well, I wrote around 230, but the actual target I was shooting for is 500 Kelvin, which is 227. So, yeah, this is the temporary circuit I put in. So, control the heating on and off by this digital valve. Even if the tank thing is left open, the little bit of air in here, and it's at fairly low pressure, would equalize with whatever is in these pipes fairly quickly, so I don't have to worry about things freezing. So I probably don't even need this single drain, but it's there anyway. I may well move this. I have a hankering maybe that I'm going to automate the temperatures or the temperature management on these tanks, and maybe pressure management as well. Don't really know what that will look like. Something like this, but in IC code, because they would be, well, I'd need an upper and a lower range, and depending on what I was doing, I'd be either heating it or cooling it, and yeah, not certain that that is something that I'm really ready for just yet. But for the moment, the temperatures are where they need to be, which is good news because I want to do some smelting. So now we get to test it. And I'll put down my mining backpacks. I am, not using them at the moment. So I think I have a third regular mining backpack, and I thought I was only printing 3 of the hard ones, but I fat-fingered it somehow and printed an extra one. Okay, so what are we going to print first? Well, I want all of the super alloys. Astraloy, I think, is fairly easy. It's any temperature over 1000, pressure between 30 and 40. That's relatively straightforward. Hastelloy is a little trickier. It has a very narrow temperature range, 677 to 727 Celsius, which puts us in the purple tank category. And again, the pressure is, there's a 5 megapascal window, so that should be easy enough to hit. And then we have in canal, very low temperature, but very tight on pressure. Shouldn't be a problem. I mean, we can use any of these to do that. We just need to get the pressure right. Now this one will cool the tank down, so I will probably use, I might actually use the coldest, as anything over 327 Celsius, and that is not, so we'll not be able to use that one. Okay, I'm not certain which one I'll use on that. We'll wait and see how everything else goes. Stellite, very hot temperature. Obviously that's going to be using the hot one, and we've got a 10 megapascal pressure window, so don't foresee any issues there. Wasp alloy, very cold, up to 527 Celsius, so that has to be the cold one, and we do require a lot of pressure. And I don't know, well, I'm assuming I'll be able to get 50 megapascals into the furnace from 18 megapascals in the tank, just because the volume is that much greater. So I'm fairly certain that we can hit that, but it may take all of the stuff. So let's we'll start with Hastelloy, just because that's got a really narrow temperature range. I have degassed all of the ores, so I don't have to worry. So I'm going to put in, let's see, I'm not even certain how much I have, so let me pin this. Nope, that's not the right button. Oh, it is already pinned. Alright, so I want 2 silver, 1 nickel, 1 cobalt. And we want tank number 2. So set that. We'll connect the tank. Pressure wise, we want 25 megapascals. Let's close this. And the export we will set to 0. Import. I always click these wheels on the wrong side. To me, adding stuff should be on the right and reducing it should be on the left. Yeah. Played this game a lot and it still catches me out. Okay, so 2 silvers. And actually I do need to turn this on, so tanks connected will open up the digital valve. This will pump stuff in. In fact, I'm going to pump it in a little slower than that. Let's say 40 to begin with. And turn that on. Right, so 2 silver, 1 nickel, 1 cobalt. 1 nickel, 1 cobalt. Oh, I haven't set up the hotbox. Let me go take care of that. It's just a matter of turning these on. That's why the furnace was cooling. Whoa, wrong way. Right, so we want 25 to 30, so I've got too much in there. I'm getting clanking pipes and I don't know where. Alright, there we go. Up. Missed it. And there we go. Oh, and of course it's only 50. Yeah. Right, well, I'm not certain how much of all the ores I have. That's one of the disadvantages of doing this. You don't get to scroll through a list.
Power critical.
And when is power ever not critical? Okay, so next one. Astraloy. Right, now this one needs steel. Steel is going to reduce the temperature. But I'm not worried, we'll use the hot one. So I did have some steel somewhere. 200. Alright, so this would mean that's basically 4 units of steel, so I need 2 of copper and 2 of cobalt. I think we can do that. And of course I'm using the wrong tank. Okay. Alright, so 2 copper and 2 cobalt. Okay, alright, well I'm going to pump this out into tank number 1 for a little bit. So we'll connect the pumps, connect tank 1, turn it on. Okay, and the rest of it can go into tank 2. If the tanks get too cold, I have the top heat exchanger connecting the red tank. You know, can select which of the tanks I want to warm up. And I should probably put a valve on this one actually to shut off the connection to the hot, like I've done on this side. Yeah, I will do that actually. Plus it gets to make the piping a little bit more funky, and that's always a good thing. Okay, what's stressing? That. And because I don't have it automated, and yeah, that was a mistake. So once this is all drained, I don't know how long it will take. Let's pump up that so it gets it into the manifold faster. And once the manifold is clear, then we'll shut off the go lever, switch it to tank 4, flip this switch to connect it back to the tanks, turn this on, and then pump in some of the hot gas through the manifold into the furnace, and then we just literally have to pump it up until it reaches 30 megapascals, and we will be golden. Right, that's good enough. Right, so switch it back to tank. Tank number 4, hot one. We'll set the output to 0, input to 20. We're good. So now we're bringing the stuff in. So we want 30 megapascals. Oop. There we go. Alright, what else do I need that needs hot gas? Inconel can be anything. Alright, so that's going to require some steel as well. Okay, so... oh, that's going to be too much. Because I don't know how much gold I have. If I put in effect 4 stacks of steel, I'm going to need 8 stacks of gold, and I'm fairly certain I don't have that much. So, and I really should have plugged this in sooner, shouldn't I? No matter. Alright. Set that to 100. Right, so that will require 4 steel and 4 nickel. Fairly certain I have all of that. Okay, the hotbox pressure is too high. Okay, so the pressure regulator pumping in is 100, and the back pressure regulator is 110. That should be keeping that under control. Oh, I know what. I'm going to have to build something in that's going to vent out the hotbox properly when I'm changing gas, because I had a bunch of coal gas in it and then it heated it up. Right, so we have... oh, right, yeah, I need the... need extra gold. And we need to lower the pressure. Ooh. Damn. Finickety. Well, we got it. Alrighty, next one on the list, stellite. Very hot again, and 10 to 20, we should be okay. So 2 silicon, 1 silver, 1 cobalt. One silver, 1 cobalt. Oh crap. Alright, so we just need to lower the pressure a little. Oh, wrong one. Seem to be having a lot of senior moments today. Okay, one more I think. Osprey. Right, this is the one that's really cold. So yeah, and it is going to require lead. And I can't remember whether these ones are off-gassed or not. I guess we'll find out. Alright, so 2 lead, 1 nickel, 1 silver. 1 nickel and 1 silver. Okay, so now this has to... Yeah, I'm going to pump out the furnace first. I don't want to add too much more there. Once the pipes get above 40, then I think they start singing. I think that's when they start singing. While I was messing around with other stuff, I was doing some experimental cooling things over on this side, and one of the pipes was singing and groaning and complaining about stuff, and I really don't know which one it was. They were all, I thought, fairly safe. There were a couple that were close to 40 and one that was maybe a little over, and I couldn't figure out which of the pipes was singing. So it'd be nice if that threshold could be configured in the game settings. So we did lose a bit of temperature in the purple tank. That's okay. We have a mechanism to reheat it. I just need to rejig the plumbing a little. Right, well, as far as first tests go with the 4-tank furnace, I'm kind of pleased with it so far. It's working almost as I expected. It could do with some idiot-proof safeguards for people like me that don't really know what we're doing. We just think we do. And yeah, I'd like to replace these lights with LEDs that change colour when this thing is thrown, so that it's just an added visual clue that things are indeed happening. Because, you know, when I'm looking up here, I don't see the lever down here, or I might not see it. So I think, okay, are the pumps working or are they not? I have to like take my eye off it and come down here. If I put LEDs up there, then in the code I can actually change the color of them depending on whether this is active or not. Or I could just add a flashing light up there that does the same thing, but color changing LEDs I think would be rather cool. Right, so I'm going to want up to 527, so this is going to be the cold tank. Right, that will do, I think. So I'll switch this. Tank 1. Tank connected. Turn that off. Set that to 30. And throw the switch. Alright, let's put the lead in first. Temperature-wise, we've stayed stable, so I'm assuming that the ores had been off-gassed. So all we have to do now is bring it up to 50. As that banging started. And there we go. They've still got 9 megapascals of pressure in there, so yeah, that gas could afford to cool down a little longer. Right, so let's pump out the furnace, keeping an eye on the manifold pressure, making certain that that doesn't get too high. That we can close off. And once the furnace is emptied, then I should be able to turn the pumps on. Okay, well, there it is, the 4-tank advanced furnace. It works.
Power critical.
Is it worth the effort? Absolutely not. It's, I won't say a complete waste of time. I learned a little bit of coding stuff that I did not know before. So anything that improves my IC coding is a good thing. Would I do it again? No. If I was going to take this approach again, I would build 4 furnaces. each with their own dedicated tank that would be permanently at temperature, with a properly filtered gas supply and a standard furnace for occasional smelting and degassing purposes. Resource-wise, it would probably use the same, but you wouldn't have to deal with the complexity of changing tanks and having a master switch that turns everything on and off. That was a bit of a... There's some clumsy programming in that IC code, let's put it that way. But yeah, I mean, it would have been so much faster just to build the thing, throw in ices, play around with the venting and refilling, get the pressure and temperature right, and just smelt the advanced alloys that way. But I wanted to have a setup that was basically turnkey, and it isn't. So in that respect, it's kind of a failure. It takes too long to evacuate the manifold, and I don't have an adequate process in place to vent the hotbox. Oops.
Temperature low.
I think I can if I turn this off. I'm not actually certain whether that's lowering the pressure in there or not. Pipe network. Oh, of course, yeah. Yeah, there's a bit of piping I didn't put back in, I think. Yeah, because I move things around. Yeah. So at the moment I have no method of purging that hotbox other than completely draining it, which I can do like that. Oh. I'll leave that in. Anyway, that's it. The furnace works. Sort of happy. I don't know if I have enough of the advanced alloys to print all the things, but it should be relatively straightforward to come back and just do some more. The next thing on the agenda is the sorting mechanism that will fill these. And spoiler alert, it won't be using sorters. Anyway, that's for the future. Like and subscribe, all that good stuff. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you in the next one. 54 Bear out.